the most feared apex predators in the ocean, could tear a person in half in a heartbeat. Yet there is almost no confirmed case of any of them hunting a human. 4 spare us, and each one spares us for a completely different reason. Starting with the one that carries the most frightening name of all. When we hear killer whale, we picture a machine built for killing. Old whalers watched these animals hunt down and take apart other whales, larger whales, and they called them whale killers. Somewhere over the centuries, the two words flipped. Whale killers became killer whales. The orca belongs to the oceanic dolphin family, the largest dolphin in the sea. And from coastal shallows to the open deep ocean, it sits at the very top, with no natural enemy above it. Outside of humans, the orca is considered the most widely distributed mammal on the planet, at home from the Arctic to the Antarctic. And what they can do to prey is the reason nothing else wants to share that water. Off the coast of South Africa, a pair of orcas known to researchers as port and starboard learned to hunt great white sharks, tearing them open for one thing only: the rich liver, and leaving the rest. It worked so well that the great whites, apex predators in their own right, abandoned entire stretches of coastline whenever those orcas showed up. A predator so complete that the ocean's other great hunter flees the moment it arrives. An animal this powerful, this widespread, this efficient, and yet, in all of recorded history, there is no confirmed case of a wild orca killing a person. Why does the top killer of the ocean leave us alone? Drop your country or your coastline in the comments and let us see how many of us have shared a shore with a killer whale and never known it. Resident orcas eat fish, mostly salmon, and almost nothing else. Transient orcas, also called bigs, hunt marine mammals and squid. Offshore orcas take fish, including sharks. One species, 3 tribes, 3 completely separate tastes swimming through this same ocean. According to NOAA Fisheries, an orca's diet is not fixed by biology so much as by culture, the hunting techniques it learns from its family. Each population even has its own dialect of pulsed calls, a set of sounds passed down and taught across generations, almost like a family crest carried in the voice. And that culture runs so deep, the animals will follow it into hunger. The southern resident orcas, down to just 74 individuals as of July 2025, have been seen harassing and killing harbor porpoises, then not eating them. A behavior scientists have named phokinocide. Even as their Chinook salmon collapse and the pod goes hungry, they will not switch to the food swimming right in front of them. A human, like that porpoise, is not written into the menu they learned. We are spared not because we are hard to catch, but because we were never taught to them as food. In 1987, A female orca in Puget Sound started wearing a dead salmon on her head like a hat. Within months, the whole pod was doing it. And then, just as suddenly, the fashion vanished for almost 40 years, before an orca named Blackberry brought it back in October 2024. If your own mother handed you something you still carry today, tell me one word for it in the comments. And that is worth holding on to. Imagine how strict it is about what counts as prey. Every human death connected to an orca happened in captivity. Not one occurred in the open sea. And 3 of the 4 trace back to a single individual, an orca named Tilikum. There were 3 separate incidents: a trainer named Kelty Byrne in 1991, a man named Daniel Dukes who broke into the park after hours in 1999, and the trainer Don Brancheau in 2010. There is a reason a captive orca behaves nothing like a wild one. Orcas live in matriarchal societies so complex that many animal welfare experts argue captivity breaks the very structure that holds the animal together. Take a creature whose whole identity is family, dialect, and learned behavior, and put it alone in a concrete tank, and you are not looking at the same animal anymore. You are looking at what is left of it. Out in the actual ocean, what you find instead are close calls, not kills. There is a story told from California in 1972, a surfer bitten in the water, and to this day, people still argue over whether it was a shark or an orca that did it. The surfer survived, and the account has passed down more as a piece of coastal lore than a documented attack. To an orca, a human is not food. We are just another odd creature drifting through the sea, one that its cultural menu never learned to name. Hit the like button now. We are only one predator in, and the next 3 each rewrite the rules in a stranger way than the last. Now, into the deep. The next animal on this list will not even need that much intelligence. This is the world of the sperm whale, and almost everything about it is built at a scale that dwarfs us. A mature male runs about 52 feet long and weighs close to 45 tons. Its head alone takes up more than 1/3 of its body and holds the largest brain of any animal alive, up to about 9 kilograms, around 5 times the mass of a human brain. For all that power, it is not untouchable. The one predator that can threaten it is a pod of orcas, and even a full-grown sperm whale can be attacked. When it happens, the whales pull into a formation researchers call the marguerite, a daisy of bodies with their heads pointed inward and their powerful tails facing out like the spokes of a wheel, the calves sheltered at the center. A wall of muscle turned outward against the only thing in the ocean that hunts them. And where they do their own hunting is the whole point. A sperm whale feeds in the deep ocean in total blackness. Most of its dives drop to around 2,000 feet for roughly 45 minutes at a time. But it can push down to 3,048 meters, 10,000 feet, and stay under for more than an hour, chasing food through a layer of the sea no human could ever reach without a machine wrapped around them. The sperm whale hunts hundreds, sometimes thousands of meters below anywhere a person can survive. We are not spared by its judgment. We are spared because we do not exist inside its hunting range at all. Down in that darkness, the sperm whale does not see with its eyes. It hunts with sound, firing off clicks and rapid buzzing creaks, a biological sonar that maps the black water around it. It eats about 3% of its body weight every day, and almost all of it is cephalopod: squid, octopus, cuttlefish, nautilus. Soft, boneless, alien-shaped prey pulled out of the deep. And the tool it hunts with is staggering on its own. The click of a sperm whale is the loudest sound produced by any animal on Earth, measured at around 230 decibels underwater, louder at close range than a stick of dynamite going off. It does not merely listen to the ocean, it floods it and reads whatever bounces back. That sonar is sensitive enough to pick out prey in absolute darkness from a great distance. It detects a human body long before that body could ever detect it, and it chooses to swim on by rather than close in. It has already scanned you, weighed you, and dismissed you, all from far enough away that you never knew it was there. A diet of almost pure cephalopod means the shape of its prey is nothing like the shape of a person, so the risk of mistaking one of us for a meal is close to zero. To an animal that sees in sound, a human body does not match any acoustic signature it has ever learned. You are not even a strange piece of prey to it. You are a meaningless signal, not worth chasing, not worth a test bite. Which makes one event almost impossible to explain. Because there is a famous case of a sperm whale that did not swim on by. A whale that sank an entire ship. And the reason it fought back is the exact opposite of what the legend says. On November 20th, 1820, the whale ship Essex out of Nantucket was rammed by a sperm whale. The event would later inspire the novel Moby Dick. Scientists now argue that sperm whales fight back only when they are hunted, and even then it is rare. A study led by Hal Whitehead at Dalhousie University, published in Biology Letters in 2021, found that these whales learned from one another how to evade 19th century whaling ships, dropping the hunters' strike rate by as much as 58%. The Essex was not proof that whales hunt people. It was proof that people were hunting whales, and that one of them had learned to fight for its life. This giant does not avoid us out of fear. It has never had a reason to see us as prey. And the single time it ever struck, it struck because we struck first. Of these predators, which one surprised you the most? Or is there another animal you know of that could kill us and does not? Tell me in the comments. The next hunter is one that could take a human easily, and once, in a way almost nobody believes, it did. There is a species that pulled a scientist down beneath the ice, and we are going there. The leopard seal is one of the largest seals in Antarctica, reaching about 3.5 meters long and up to roughly 380 kilograms. It is also the only seal that hunts penguins and other seals. warm-blooded prey that most of its relatives would never touch. This is a true apex predator of the southern ice, big enough and armed enough to kill almost anything it wants down there. The same sharp canines that tear a penguin apart sit in a jaw that also carries interlocking three-pronged molars, teeth that let it suck in seawater and strain krill back out, feeding almost the way a baleen whale does. One animal, one set of jaws, and it can both rip apart large prey and filter the tiniest. So it is not a picky eater, and it is not a small one, which makes its behavior toward us genuinely odd. The leopard seal lives in Antarctica, a place with almost no natural human presence, so a person does not fit the shape of anything it has learned to hunt, and we are far too rare for it to have been taught that we are food. When one meets a human, its default reaction leans toward curiosity, toward something almost social, rather than toward the hunt. It is about a hunter that meets us and gets curious. And nobody has shown that better than one photographer who spent 4 days underwater with a leopard seal, and what it did surprised everyone who heard it. In 2006, the National Geographic photographer Paul Nicklin slipped into the water in Antarctica beside a large female leopard seal. He expected an attack. What he got was something else entirely. Over 4 days, the seal kept bringing him penguins, first live ones, then dead ones, offering them to him again and again, as if she were trying to feed him. The way to read it is almost tender. The animal seemed to have decided that Nicklin was a useless predator adrift in her ocean, not prey to be eaten, but a weak, hopeless creature who needed to be shown how to hunt. One of the most dangerous seals in the world looked at a human and saw someone to take care of. But the same species, the same gentle curiosity, is tied to a single death. Kirsty Brown. She was a 28-year-old marine biologist with the British Antarctic Survey, and on July 22, 2003, while snorkeling near the Rothera Research Station on the Antarctic Peninsula, she was killed by a leopard seal that pulled her beneath the water. She is the first and only recorded human death caused by a leopard seal. A spokesperson for the British Antarctic Survey called it an event without precedent. In roughly 30 years of research operations in Antarctica, nothing like it had ever been recorded before. One death across decades, from a predator strong enough to kill a person at almost any moment it chose, does not make the leopard seal a hunter of humans. It shows the opposite. When the opportunity is nearly unlimited and the death toll can be counted on a single finger, does not hunt us stops being luck and becomes a real, measurable pattern. The exception is what proves how consistent the rule actually is. To a leopard seal, a person is not prey. A person is an oddity that has wandered into its living room, and in the overwhelming majority of those encounters, it chooses curiosity over the kill. Which leaves one hunter left, the strangest of them all. A creature that has lived for nearly 4 centuries and has almost never crossed paths with a single human being. And the reason for that is unlike anything we have seen yet. The Greenland shark, Somniosus microcephalus, lives at depths of 0 to 1,200 meters, with some individuals recorded down near 2,200 in the frigid 1 to 20 degree water of the North Atlantic and the Arctic. This is deep sea, deep ocean habitat, cold and dark. A stretch of the ocean where humans essentially never swim on their own. It is not that we avoid this shark. It is that we and this shark occupy almost entirely separate worlds. That separation is the mechanism itself. Because its cold, deep environment sits so far outside anywhere people go, the Florida Museum flatly considers the species to pose no danger to humans. Its version of "does not hunt us" is not misidentification, and it is not a matter of taste. It is that the two of us almost never meet in the first place. You cannot be hunted by an animal you are never in the same place as. You can see that in the record. According to the International Shark Attack File, the entire history of this species holds just one suspected case from 1859 off Canada, when a human leg was reportedly found inside one shark's stomach. But it was never scientifically confirmed, and there is no verified case of a Greenland shark biting a person in modern times. For an animal whose whole global file of attacks amounts to a single, unverified line from the 19th century, the question of why it does not hunt us nearly answers itself. It has no need to avoid us, because we were never there to begin with. The Greenland shark is the longest-lived vertebrate known to science. Researchers can date these animals by the carbon isotopes locked in the lenses of their eyes. In a study led by Julius Nielsen and published in the journal Science in 2016, they estimated that the largest individual in their sample was around 392 years old, with a range of 272 to 512 years. Sit with that. A shark alive today may have been swimming these cold waters before the French Revolution, before your country, quite possibly, existed at all. Living that long changes everything about how the animal works. It does not even reach breeding age until around 156 years old, a consequence of a metabolism running almost impossibly slow in near-freezing water. This is a creature whose adulthood begins after most human dynasties have risen and fallen. And it moves the way it ages. Its average cruising speed is only about 1.1 kilometers per hour, slow enough that most people could walk faster than this shark swims. Rather than chase prey, it tends to scavenge or ambush the slow and the already dead. Everything about it runs at a tempo the rest of the ocean does not share. A predator that lives for centuries, drifts slower than a walking pace, and hangs in cold, lightless water where people never go, running on a clock that has nothing to do with ours. It did not decide to spare us. Our two worlds almost never touch. And that is the last of the 4 reasons. The orca spares us through its learned culture, the sperm whale through the depth we cannot reach, the leopard seal through curiosity instead of hunger, and the Greenland shark through a world that barely intersects with ours. 4 hunters, 4 answers, not one of them the same. Which leaves a final question. There is no single reason these apex predators do not hunt us, because if there is one species these apex predators actually have reason to fear, it is us. The global sperm whale population is estimated to have fallen by around 57% over 3 centuries of human whaling, from roughly 1.95 million animals in 1711 to about 845,000 by 2022. And the danger has not stopped. NOAA reports that sperm whales today face ship strikes, entanglement in fishing gear, and underwater noise pollution that disrupts the very sound-based sense they use to hunt and to speak to one another. The only real hunter of others in this whole story turns out to be the species telling it. And maybe that is the part worth carrying out of the water. Not just that these animals do not hunt us, but that so many of them seem as curious about us as we are about them. The orca trying to read us, the leopard seal trying to feed us. By every rule of nature, fear should have been their instinct toward the thing that hunts them. Instead, what they so often offer us is something closer to fascination. The most dangerous predators in the ocean looked at the one species that hunts them for real and chose, again and again, to wonder about it instead.